Hey y'all, so that was a little showcase of this build and kind of the content I'm running right now. I'm farming yellow maps pretty consistently, and I'm also still able to play Delve pretty well. A little bit around the same level as yellow maps, and it's been going pretty smooth. This build is extremely fast now, and with a Quicksilver Flask, I have a movement speed modifier of 130%, which is like, it's pretty good for Ruthless. So this is the second update to how I'm progressing the build as well as what I plan to do. So real life is kind of taking priority right now. I'm not really looking to make too much content here while I'm busy. So it's more on the back burner, but I have been playing just around when I get bored when I have time. And frankly put, this build is still really fun to just run around with and farm maps with. So some changes I've made is I run a Devoto's Devotion and Null and Void. So Devoto is probably the best item in the helmet slot for Ruthless, just because of how much move speed it gives, and the attack speed is also really nice for this build. And Null and Void is just really nice for Rampage. It works extremely well for Del because you just get so much clear. Like you could see the Fizz explodes were really doing some work. On top of that, the mana regen and Fizz immunity for a little bit is really nice as well. Kikazaru is what I'm running right now. It gives a lot of regen and mana regen still, so it's like definitely worthwhile. And once I get another level, it's another 3 base regen, which I can always scale up. And for my current setup, I've got a 5 link with Cruelty, Swift Affliction, Vicious Proj, and Mirror Archer, Divergent, or skill duration on Toxic Rain. And so this is really good for single target if I need to focus down a target. But the best way to actually clear this build is also using Arrow Nova and Pierce with a Caustic Arrow and Mana Forged Arrows. And while I would like a Ballista Totem setup, I don't currently have Ballista Totem support, so I'm still fishing for that. And that will help with a lot of boss damage, but I think for mapping in general, this is going to be better. So how the build plays, really, is instead of spamming Toxic Rain, because currently my mana is an issue, even with the life notable, like I spend some life to cast this, I can't cast Caustic Arrow that much when I spam Toxic Rain. You'll start to see that it doesn't even cast anymore because of my mana. I don't have enough to proc it. And so instead, when I'm going through maps, because I do enough damage now, I can just run around and kind of click like this, and it'll always shoot out a Caustic Arrow. Um, and this helps with clear a lot. And if I'm bossing, if I need to kite or anything, this just makes the damage a lot more consistent, as opposed to sitting and planting and just toxic raining. So in that essence, the build feels really nice to play. I think it'll start to struggle in red maps due to defensives, but I do have an update on some extremely lucky finds. Frankly, probably some of the luckiest currently in Ruthless Southbound, which is I found a Flesh and Stone. It's really nice for defensives to hold the place for my determination, which I am leveling. And this currently does not provide me with that much armor. I need to change up some gear if I really want to make use of this. But I think overall it's definitely not a bad find. And of course, I found another Malevolence on top of already getting one, so I'm gonna corrupt this one. Um, and kind of see from there. I might honestly just corrupt both. Just in hopes for a level 21. And of course, the biggest find is an Empower support. And frankly, I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to get this thing up to level 3. It's just so much grinding. But I think it is doable, and I'm going to try to go for it. I have Skill Effect Duration Anointed right now, and probably one of the worst amulets I've seen, so I need to fix this piece of gear. This belt needs like an Exalt or something. It just needs more stuff. Like any sort of Conqueror's Exalt would also be nice, but you know. That's a bit further down in the line. I divined my Praxis and hit -4, which is honestly the most tilting thing that's happened recently. If I find another divine, it's going straight into this, and I would have to be really lucky and find like some sort of Unveil Ring to even beat this. So Praxis is my current biz for this build until I fix the mana issue. Now, the tree. I did Uber Lab, and I found a comment on my video said you can do Uber Lab for points, so that was my mistake. Didn't really research that. I saw and read the patch note changes in Ruthless for Ancestor League, which honestly, this just gives me a bit more avoidance for ailments, so I have better chill and freeze avoidance. So I feel like I don't need any sort of like freeze, immunity, flash, or anything like that. The ignite's also pretty nice. I avoid most of them. Shock as well. Um, but obviously Raider isn't the best spec to go. Like I could go down this and just take phasing and onslaught, but I lose defensives going this way, and the move speed is kind of already covered by having Devotos and stuff. Honestly, at this point, it's just fixing mana reservation. So honestly, taking these nodes might be the move to get the 12%, but that's going to be 4 points, which is level 91, which is already like a very big jump. And otherwise, I can also just go and path towards more life. 4 points gets me a lot of life, and this build is going to need it for tankiness because 3k life is barely enough. I think it can do endgame bosses with 3k life and maxed out suppression, which I have, and determination, but it's still going to be rough. But I think that is going to still be the end goal, is I'm going to try to look for that. But yeah, I may make some more content in the upcoming days, maybe expecting more later on. But for now, I'm just gonna take a chill, and I will make content if things pop up. But yeah, for next time, ciao.